The following presentation is intended to update all parents and staff about the new school and county metrics and return to school framework recently released by the DuPage County Health Department. This presentation will also share the District 33 plans to return to in-person learning for special groups of students. Please note these plans may change as more is learned about this virus. For most District 33 students, there will be no changes to their transition back to school, and e-learning will continue until December 2nd. Before sharing the district plans for returning to in-person instruction, it is important to understand what data the district is using to guide the decisions. On Friday, August 28th, the DuPage County Health Department provided a guidance document for schools in DuPage County to use to determine when and how to reopen schools for in-person learning. Why is this guidance important? Because at the local level, it is the DuPage County COVID-19 transmission rates that are the basis for District 33's decisions on how to reopen schools for in-person learning. This table was provided in the guidance document from the DuPage County Health Department. There are some important things to know about this table. The headings for the three columns describe levels of the spread of the virus throughout the community. Yellow indicates minimal spread of the virus. Orange indicates moderate spread of the virus. Red indicates the highest level of spread of the virus in the community. The next row explains the type of learning, in-person or e-learning, that is encouraged based on the level of spread of COVID-19 in the community. When there is minimal spread in the community, represented by the yellow column, school officials may consider in-person learning with social distancing and face coverings. With moderate community spread in the community, represented by the orange column, school officials may encourage some in-person learning and some e-learning. The guidance states school officials should use their discretion and expertise to determine which populations of students should receive in-person instruction, specifically those whose needs are less likely to be met by virtual instruction. With substantial spread of the virus in the community, represented by the red column, e-learning is encouraged, but school officials still have the discretion to make the decision based on which students are least likely to have their needs met through e-learning. The following data is used to determine the level of community spread. Number of all new cases, percentage of positive cases, number of youth cases ages birth to 19 years, number of COVID-19 cases per 100,000 people. The increase or decrease in these numbers from week to week will be used to determine whether we are in yellow, orange, or red. The highest rating in one category becomes the overall rating for the county. Let's take a look at each of these categories and the numbers in DuPage County over time. This is a look at the change in the number of new cases per 100,000 people in DuPage County. As of August 23rd, there were 95 new cases of COVID-19 out of 100,000 people. This places DuPage County in the moderate level or orange level of spread. The red line on the graph shows the point where the data meets the criteria for substantial spread or red level. The yellow line shows minimal community spread or the yellow level. As you can see, the number of new cases of COVID-19 continues to rise in the community. Currently, there are 95 new cases. 100 or more new cases would move the community spread level to the substantial or red level. This graph shows the steady increase of percentage of positive COVID-19 tests in DuPage County over the last 5 weeks. The current level of 5.1% puts the county at the moderate or orange level for community spread. Minimal spread is below the orange line. Moderate spread is between the orange and red lines. Substantial spread would be above the red line. The number of COVID cases in children ages birth to 19 is a new category provided for school decision making. The increases in cases in children directly impact schools, so this information was added as a factor to help schools and their decision-making processes. Increases in COVID cases of children over 2 weeks are monitored, and increases greater than 20% rank as substantial or red level spread. Increase rates between 10 and 20% are considered moderate or orange level spread. A 5 to 10% increase is the range of minimal or yellow level spread. This data is new, so there isn't a trend line to compare week-to-week cases yet. However, if the data begins to show a substantial or red increase in cases among children, this would be an important factor to consider in transitioning back to in-person instruction for all students. The total case counts of COVID-19 are monitored with the same criteria for levels as the youth case count. Minimal spread, the yellow level, is a weekly increase of less than 10%. Moderate or orange level spread is a 10 to 20% increase, and substantial spread. The red level is an increase of over 20%. This is what you will see on the Illinois Department of Public Health website. The overall rating for the county is the highest rating in any one category. On this slide, the test positivity rate and the new cases rate were at the moderate level. Therefore, the county is at the moderate or orange level. Even if there is only one category at the moderate or orange level, the whole county rates moderate or orange. If any one measure is substantial or the red level, then the entire rating for DuPage would be the substantial or red level. DuPage County is currently in the moderate level or orange of COVID-19 community spread. Based upon these current numbers of COVID cases and newest guidance, District 33 is recommending that most students and staff would continue with e-learning and participate in the D33 Online Learning Academy until December 2nd. Therefore, for most students, there are no changes to the current plan for returning to in-person instruction. The exception is with students in the following groups. There are small groups of students that District 33 is recommending be brought back for in-person learning at each building with safety protocols in place. These are students that are least likely to benefit from e-learning or need the highest levels of support. Self-contained special education students. This includes only the students in preschool through 8th grade with an IEP whose needs are met in a self-contained classroom. Students with an individualized education plan, or IEP. This includes all students in kindergarten through 8th grade who have an IEP or individualized education plan and spend the majority of their day in the general education classroom. Students are learning English as a second language, or ESL students. This includes pre-K through 8th grade students who are still learning English as a second language. This does not include dual language students. Specific staff. This includes pre-K through 8th grade certified teachers and related service staff who work with self-contained students, instructional coaches, ESL teachers, and paraprofessionals. This list could vary or change depending on the number of students and needs of students who commit to in-person learning from the special student groups. In order to bring small groups of students in during this time, all safety protocols and procedures will be followed based on guidance from our local health department. This includes student groups being limited to 50 to minimize exposure to large groups. E-learning will continue on Mondays for all students to allow for deep cleaning of buildings. Staff will be provided additional personal protective equipment, and students and staff will be expected to wear face masks. There will be additional cleaning and time for hygiene throughout the day. Should there be a confirmed case of COVID-19 in a building, parents and staff would be notified and the building would be closed for cleaning. Decisions related to who needs to be quarantined and school closure would be made in consultation with the local health department. For the groups of students in self-contained special education classes, students with IEPs, and students learning English as a second language, District 33 is recommending the following timeline for phasing in instruction for these students sooner than December 2nd. September 8th. E-learning begins for all students district-wide. October 6th, preschool through 8th grade students who receive special education in a self-contained classroom will return to the buildings for in-person instruction delivered by a certified special education teacher, paraprofessionals, and related service staff. Instruction will be delivered as it is in typical school years with additional safety precautions as well as personal protective equipment. October 20th. On October 20th, all remaining kindergarten through 8th grade students with an IEP or individualized education plan who spend the majority of their day in a general education classroom, as well as pre-K through 8th grade students who are limited in their English language proficiency, will return to buildings for in-person instruction. Please remember these ESL students do not include dual language students. To prepare all students for returning to the buildings for the in-person instruction models, District 33 is proposing the following timeline. November 17th through 19th. At this time, all pre-K through 8th grade students will receive an in-person safety and instructional orientation in their school building. This will be an opportunity for each grade level at each school to attend in person, meet their teacher and classmates in person, and practice safety procedures and routines to prepare for the return to hybrid and blended learning models on December 2nd. More information about how these days will be scheduled will come from your building principals. November 20th and 23rd. Parent-teacher conferences will be held in person in a modified format to adhere to safety protocols. More information about how these days will be scheduled will come from your building principal. On November 24th through 27th, students will break for Thanksgiving and there will be no classes this week. December 2nd, we will all return from the holiday break and begin a hybrid and blended model of instruction on December 2nd. This includes all District 33 students. These models were previously approved at the August 6th board meeting. You can find more information about these models on our district website. As a reminder, e-learning will continue on Mondays for all student groups and all learning models. Please note, all of this is subject to change as more is learned about this virus. Should the current metrics indicate that there is a substantial community spread of COVID-19 or red level, all self-contained special education students with IEPs and ESL students whose learning needs are least likely to be met in an online learning format will continue to receive support in person in the buildings. Additional safeguards would continue to be in place and safety would be monitored. However, all other students and staff would remain in e-learning while there is a substantial community spread or red level. For example, if we are at a red level of community spread on or before December 2nd, plans for in-person learning via hybrid and blended models would pause and e-learning would continue for all students. Again, these recommendations are based on the Return to School Framework, the newest guidance from the DuPage County Health Department. Next steps. In an effort to keep you informed, the following communication will go out to impacted staff and identified student groups who will return to in-person instruction prior to December 2nd. On September 4th, parents of all self-contained and special education students or students with an IEP and ESL students will be sent a commitment survey asking them to commit to either in-person instruction or continue with e-learning. District and building administrators will be contacting parents of these identified student groups who will return to in-person instruction prior to December 2nd to schedule information sessions. The week of September 2nd, impacted staff will be notified when they will return to buildings for in-person instruction and have an opportunity to ask questions during a staff notification meeting with Human Resources, the Department of Teaching and Learning, as well as Student Services. Student superintendent coffees with staff will occur for all staff during the week of September 7th. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact your building administrator. Thank you.